We are the women of Serve to Perform.
We, as women, are very powerful when we are together.
We are the women of Serve to Perform.
As women, we can do anything. It is the same thing that I teach my daughter.
We are the women of Serve to Perform.
I think women's empowerment is the freedom to just be yourself. We are the women of Serve to Perform.
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 Welcome back to the Serve to Perform podcast, and welcome back to another virtual episode. Today we're joined with Miss Samantha Arroyos. Thank you for joining us, Sammy.
Of course. Thank you for having me, Lainey.
Yeah, so today we're going to talk all things women's empowerment. So Sammy, what does women's empowerment mean to you specifically?
That's a big question. To me, women's empowerment means the same as any other type of empowerment. I think that when we look at empowerment, we should look at inclusion, we should look at elevation, we should look at recognition, and really just look at acknowledging an individual, acknowledging that their differences make them who they are, and that their differences are not only an amazing part of themselves, but elevate them. Yeah. They give them a different perspective. They make them the person they are, their personality, their mannerisms, everything about a person is contributed to by their different types of diversity. So I would say being a woman, women's empowerment is recognizing that and acknowledging that, and not only accepting, but empowering and uplifting that.
Yeah, I love that, Sammy. That's awesome. So I know that you've been working for Serve to Perform since you were very young, 16 years old, if I'm correct. So tell us a little bit about how that transition from maybe more of like a note taker as a 16-year-old to now a partner within the company has been with clients. And has there ever been any experience that you remember where you basically had to kind of maybe earn some respect as a woman, as a female leader, and as a young leader specifically?
Of course, thank you. I will say that one thing I've learned in my time as a young professional is that everyone has a time when they need to earn respect. Everyone has to earn the power behind their name. I luckily, like you said, was able to start that when I was 16, so I got a bit of a jump start on it. But I think that everyone has their own journey and their own path in order to earn that respect. We don't want to get respect by our title. We don't want it by our position. We don't want it by purely someone saying respect. Yeah. We want to have our non-positional influence represent who we are. I want to be respected for the person that I am, for Samantha Arroyos. And I definitely have had to earn that over time, not just with clients, but in my nonprofit experience, growing up in Northwest Arkansas, within sports, within school, within friends, within work, everywhere, you need to earn respect. I would say that as a woman, I have noticed some differences in the professional world. I'm very blessed that I haven't had to experience tremendous ones, but I would say there are some. And putting a scale on it makes it even more difficult, which is a whole nother conversation. But I will say that there are some things I've noticed. For example, I have a very close friend that we like to have conversations on how business is going, because she's one of my only best friends in the business world. And so we'll sometimes be talking and I'll go, I don't know why, but I had a meeting derailed by 30 minutes because some clients saw me in lipstick with curled hair and didn't recognize me. And it took 30 minutes to get back on topic, where we were able to continue with the meeting. Or she's had experiences where she has to wear baggy clothes to work because one day she came in with her makeup done and with clothes that weren't form-fitting but weren't loosely hanging. and she got acknowledged and recognized by every male in the office that day.
Yeah.
And so different experiences like that, where we've definitely noticed that there are biases, I guess, and there are shifts in mindset. But I think that the amazing thing about where we are right now as professionals is that we are not suffering silently through those things.
Yeah.
I'm able to communicate that with my team members on things like this podcast, with my friends, with my boss. My friend has shared with me how amazing her boss is with supporting her in those areas and making sure that that doesn't happen again. To be by her side, to be able to have that conversation. And so even though there's been tough experiences like that, have I been told that because of my age or gender that I may not be good for a project? Yes. Did I get to show them and who I am and earn that respect? 100% yes. And I think that's the interesting thing, is that we're never going to be perfect,
Yeah.
but we keep taking steps forward. We keep moving forward. We keep these conversations flowing. We keep learning from one another. We can't learn if we don't talk to one another. And so being able to talk and say, you know, this is what I experienced. What did you experience? How can we support each other? How can we be there for each other? There's different organizations too, like Network of Executive Women that, here locally, that support so many powerful business women, where these women are able to inspire each other, grow from each other, learn from each other. There's the sororities that I was in college, where to this day I will be in a business meeting or at a convention, non-COVID, and see a sorority sister and be able to recognize that sisterhood. And I just think being able to really lean on the other women, but also being honest with those who maybe don't understand the struggle of being a woman, is what will really help us move forward as far as women's empowerment.
Yeah. You know, that is so awesome, right? That we have, and you have leaders above you that are there to stand beside you in those moments that may not be the most comfortable, or that other people don't believe in you like they believe in you, like our leaders believe in you, as well as your friend, right? You know, we don't think about that stuff. I don't think about my big curly hair and my makeup, right? But other people, other men sometimes do. And so to say like, hey, this is just who I am. This is what I look like. This is how I choose to dress and how I choose to look. And I'm a woman and I can do that, is huge, right? And so having those people to empower, to uplift, and to elevate, and to say, hey, no, do you, be wear what you want, look how you want, you know, and having those leaders, and maybe not always women leaders, but male leaders that will empower you in that way, is extremely crucial for personal development, for business development, for all of the above. And so maybe speak on that a little bit. How did that make you feel when our leaders looked at you and said, oh, we're there with you. We're supporting you, we're encouraging you, and we're helping you through it?
I will say, I didn't question it. I didn't question that I was going to have support, because I'm very blessed to be surrounded by a community of, really a family of people at Serve to Perform, that we are not only open with each other, but we are completely uplifting, empowering, and supportive of one another. We really are a family. And so I'm very blessed to be able to work in that type of environment. I would say that I have talked with friends of mine that they were surprised when they experienced things like that. And they were surprised when they got so much support.
Yeah.
And I think that speaks less to the individual and more to what we've been exposed to in the past. And it speaks to the normalcy that there is in those practices and those engagements. But the fact that we're able to step forward and be so well supported, and I know that it's not like that in every organization, unfortunately, but the fact that there are more and more like that, and the fact that there are more and more inspirational women able to really be there for one another, even the organizations empowered by diverse genders, by women, by men, by additional genders as well. There are organizations, for example, I know I already spoke on Network of Executive Women, but our local chapter is the most diverse in the country, gender-wise, because we as a community in Northwest Arkansas are making gestures in order to be more empowering for women. Even organizations like WAS, Women of the Ozarks, the mountain biking community, I have to say, WAS, Serve to Perform, there are so many families that are welcoming to all different types of individuals. So I would just say that I'm not sure if I answered your question very well, but I would say that I am very blessed to have been able to experience very good reactions. But for those of you who maybe haven't experienced those good reactions, look out for those inspiring people that are there for you, because there are. I know I heard in actually our first empowerment forum last year, 2019, 2 years ago, I remember one of our panelists spoke and she said, if you don't feel accepted in your community, in your company, in your team, change that. Utilize the voice that you have, change it.
Yeah.
And I think that is there for us. If you're not feeling empowered, I'm empowering you right now. You're empowered. You have the strength, you have the voice to be able to speak up. And to not only empower yourself, but empower the other women on your team, the other women in your community, the other women live down the street that are at the next cubicle, that are on the other end of the Zoom call. Empower those other women. Share that strength that you have.
Yeah. You know, Sammy, and that you just covered my next question perfectly to wrap everything up was, what was some advice that you would give? And that's exactly what it is. Feel empowered, find a way to feel empowered, and then empower others around you, because females, I have worked in so many places where jealousy gets in the way, comparison gets in the way, all of the above, right? And that is all because we're afraid to say, hey, you're better at that than me, or you can do that so well. Let me empower you, uplift you, help you through that, because that's what we should be doing at the end of the day. And so I've never worked on a team that genuinely, I get so much feedback all the time, whether that be good or bad. I love feedback because it makes me better, right? And having people like you on our team that is constantly uplifting other females, constantly saying, how can I help you? What can I do for you? Is huge. Sammy, that is huge. And we're so thankful for your voice on our team. I am so thankful for your voice in my life, not just in, not just in work. For you to be able to, come to me and say, hey, like, I think you need to do this, this, and this better. And me be like, got it. Let's do it. Let's work on it together. Right? Sammy, do you have any final words you want to add?
I just want to say right back to you, Lainey, I appreciate you on our team as a part of our family and in my life as well. It makes it a lot easier to be an empowered woman when I have so many around me, surrounding me. And I, like you had said, uplift yourself and uplift those around you, because sometimes it's hard to keep ourselves up. And you may see someone on your team that, like you had said, maybe pushing back a little, maybe in a bad time, maybe they're experiencing something that is troublesome for them. Be there for them, empower them, be able to be there to support them, because we as women are very powerful when we are together, and we can achieve so much. We can serve so much. So step forward and just help where you can.
Awesome. Sammy, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your insight. Thank you for your awesome words. You are an inspiration to young girls. You're an inspiration to me, and you don't even know it. You be better every single day. And that's something that I'm so thankful for. So thank you for all that you do for us. Thank you for being here today and giving us your words and insight on women's empowerment.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Next time on the Serve to Perform podcast.
It's so true, like whether it be a parent, a teacher, a coach, a friend, like that's your mentor. You know what I mean? Like when I, for my degree, I needed an internship to be able to like go forward in, it's a requirement or whatever. And I needed to go work in the retail industry because I had no experience. I'd only worked for Serve to Perform. That's all I knew. So I was like, Dad, who is also my boss, I was like, I need to take summer off to go do this internship, blah, blah, blah. And he goes, so you need retail experience. So you know how to build a website because you taught yourself how to do that. You know how to do your brand management because that's what you're learning in school. So you don't like working for anyone else. So why don't you just make your own company, your own boutique? And I was like, Dad, I can't do that. I'm 19. Like, and it's like, that's what's crazy. It's like the same template you think of and you're like, I'm 19, I'm a kid, I'm in school, all I should be thinking about is school. And then it's like, oh, well, I guess I kind of could do that.